Hi everyone, it's been a while that I haven't uploaded a single YouTube video that would continue the series about precalculus based on Philippine K-12 curriculum. So, here's the thing. We're going to continue it now. So here in this video, we're going to have a second practice video where this is about graphing a circle and finding the standard form, general form, or both forms of a circle when parameters are given. Like for example, if I have center and radius, how would you at least find its standard form, right? Or let's just say I have the endpoints of diameter. So how are you going to find the yeah, the standard form at least? All right. So without further ado, let's now begin. Let's start first with the first problem. Let's graph the following circles. So first and foremost, if you're going to graph the circle, there are two things that you need to consider. One, they should be in standard form. Okay, remember, always in standard form. Because when your circle is in standard form, there you can immediately find your center and your radius. Okay, remember that your standard form is the square of x minus h plus the square of y minus k is equal to r squared. This is the standard form. Now, there another another thing that you need to be aware of is your r squared. Okay, r squared is located on the right side of your standard form. R squared is basically a constant. Okay, it's a constant number. Now, here's the thing. Okay, there are like three cases. Like, is your r squared greater than 0? Is your r squared less than 0? Or is your r squared exactly 0? Right? So there are two things that you need to consider, the standard form and the constant of your r squared. Okay? Because this will tell you if you can graph a circle or not. All right? So let's relate that to the first problem. Okay, what's the best way? Let me put it here. Okay, there we go. And then that's it here. Okay, so let's begin. So here, we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 81. Now, is this in standard form? The answer for that question is yes, it is in standard form. All right. You may be thinking there's no, parenthesis and squared on it. You know what I mean? So how is it in standard form if you're going to ask me? Well, we can rewrite this as quantity x minus 0 squared plus quantity y minus 0 squared is equal to 81. See? So this is in standard form. And again, on the right side, it's a constant, okay? And that constant would be your r squared. Therefore, the r squared here is 81, all right? So, okay, first things first, the standard form is given already, so we're good to go. Now, the second step here is your r squared, okay? Your r squared is 81. So again, precondition, is it greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0? Well, to answer that question, it is greater than 0. So if it's greater than 0, expect that the graph would be exactly circled. Okay? It would be exactly circled. So with that in mind, with that in mind, let's now proceed in graphing circle. All right. So that's it. Okay. Remember, if you remember before, if it's less than 0, this is an imaginary circle. If it's exactly 0, you will have exactly a point. So if you're going to graph a point, you're just gonna, you know, plot the point and that's it. And for this one, however, if it's an imaginary circle, well, sadly, you can graph it. All right. So yeah, make sure your r squared is positive, basically, or greater than 0. Anyway, let's now proceed, okay? Let's now graph. Now, if you're going to graph a circle, okay, since we found out that your r squared is your 81, let's find your r, okay? Because when you find your r, that would be the length of your radius. Okay? So in this case, we're going to square root both sides so that we can get the value of r. So your r is exactly 9 units. So r, uh, the length of your radius is simply 9 units long. Okay. Now, how about the center? Okay. If you're going to find the center, I think like it would look like this, H and K, right? And if you're asking me, where is H and K located? It is basically on the standard form. Let me rewrite it again. Sorry, I actually erased it. Which is the square of x minus h plus the square of y minus k. So whatever h and k here, that would be the basis of your center. Okay? But here's the problem. Okay. Let me add one more information. H and K are constants. Okay. And they are the partner for X and Y respectively. Now, look at this one. Compare it here. There is no H for X here and K for Y because as you can see, it exists just X squared. And for the Y, it exists just Y squared. So what am I trying to imply? What I'm trying to imply is that here, your h and your k are both 0. Okay, if you see x squared plus y squared, that means that the h for your x and the k for your y is 0. So therefore, the center, okay, the center would be 0, 0. Okay, 0, 0. I put it this way. Then we can now graph. Okay, so let me draw a Cartesian plane here. Right. No, no, no. Let me just put it down a little bit. And yeah, there we go. Okay, that's it. All right. Let me just put integers here. All right, let me just put some integers here. So here, my integers would be multiples of 1. So basically, if I start at 0 here, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, yada yada. Okay? So I will have 1, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, let's stop at 10. And I will do the same thing for the other line. So just hold on. Okay, there we go. So I put all of the integers on 4 lines. Okay, one to the right, to the left, up and down. They're all multiples of 1. So basically, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, -1, -2, -3, so on and so forth. Okay. So let's graph it out. First and foremost, you need to locate your center. Your center here is 0, 0. So that means it's at the origin, which is basically the the point where your x and y axis intersect. So here, this is your center. Okay, if it's 0, 0, automatically it's on the at the origin. I mean, okay. Next, we're going to draw your circle based off your radius. Your radius here is 9 units. So what does that mean? If you remember the steps on how we're going to graph the circle, we're going to what goes one? Count 9 units from center to the right, then going back again to the center, going upward, then going back to the center, to the left, then going back to the center, going down. Okay, basically, we're going to draw four, 9 units away from the center. Okay, like in to the right, upward, left, and down. Okay, let's do it slowly. Okay, so let's try what goes one. Draw 9 units away from the center. So start from here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here, that's it. Okay, here. Now we go back again to the center and we will draw 9 units upward. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here, okay, here. Now go back again to the center we'll go it to the left. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's it. And lastly, let's go back again to the center. We'll go downwards 9 units. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 here. That's it. Then now, this, these corners here, these points, the outer points, you're going to trace them. Okay, so we're going to do this one. Okay, from here to there to here, here to there, and there to here. That's it. That is your circle. Done. That's it. All right. Again, it may not look like it's a circle, but by estimate, this is the circle that we can graph manually speaking. So it's okay if it's not perfect. This is actually the way how you're going to graph a circle, right? Now there's another way we can do this because you see, what do you call this one? This is complicated. Why is it complicated? It's not because of, the way the steps we did, but because it's actually big. Is there a way that we can shrink it, where we can make it smaller, but it's still correct? Yes, we can. Okay. By what? By adjusting your integers. Okay. So let me erase this one. Okay, let me erase this one. All right. Now here, let's just say that what do you call this one? If you recall earlier, the integers here on the left, right, left, up and down, they're all multiples of one. So basically 1, 2, 3, 4, yada yada. Now we can adjust that. What if we can make it multiples of 3? Okay, multiples of 3. Like 0, starting from the origin, then 3, the next integer, 6, next integer, 9, then 12, then 15, yada yada. So I think that's much better. Okay, for me, it's much better. It's shorter and more convenient to graph it out. Okay, so that means that if my integers are multiples of 3, like the one I already showed to you, then what happens is that the graph will be shorter, but it's still correct. Okay, so let's graph the circle out. Okay, so we have, yeah, the center 0, 0, and then we have the radius of 9 units. Okay, so we have the center again. It's at the origin. So let's what's that again? Let's let's draw the circle by first what goes one? Yeah, let's draw the circle by first drawing 9 units away from the center. Okay, so start from the center. Let's draw 9 units. So since again the multiples of integers, the multiples wait, what's one? Since the integers here are multiples of 3, so you'll get 0, and then 3, 6, 9. So here. So we're going to stop right here. Okay. Okay. Now we'll go back again to the center and we'll go 9 units upward to 0, 3, wait, 3, 6, and 9. So stop right here. That's it. Okay. Now go back to the center and we'll do it to the left. So 0, 1, wait, no, 3, 6, and 9. Okay, then lastly, we go back again into the center and we go down to 0, 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okay, so there we can now trace the outer points. That's it. Done. Right? This is still correct, by the way. Even if it's just short, it's short because you adjusted the integers of the graph. Okay, here, as you can see, it's much more convenient to graph it out. Okay, so my advice is that if you think that the graph is much bigger than what you expect it to be, I advise you shrink it just like what I did by adjusting the integers. Okay, So instead of like having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, instead make it multiples of any number, like 3, for instance. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, and yada yada. Okay, much better. So yes, this is the graph of your first problem. Now, how about the second problem? Okay, the second problem here, let me just erase this one. Okay. The second problem here is we have x squared plus the square of y minus 8 is equal to 64. So is it in standard form? Yes, it's pretty obvious, okay, by now that you see here, this is just the same as x minus 0 squared plus quantity y minus 8 squared is equal to 64. So here you can clearly see it's in standard form. All right. So with that in mind, we can now proceed to the next step that we need to be aware of, which is the value of your r squared. Remember, r squared is just basically the number on the right side. So r squared is equal to 64. So now, is it greater than 0? So in this case, yes, it is greater than 0. So in that case, we can graph this circle. And now, speaking of graphing the circle, let's find the length of your radius and the center. Okay, so let me erase this one. All right. Let's start first with the length of your radius. So here, just square root both sides and you'll get the length of it, which is 8 units long. Okay, this is 8 units long. And lastly, okay, let's find the center. Okay, your h, k. So again, your h is just beside x, but as you can see, it just simply exists as x. So therefore, your h is 0. Your k, however, is actually this one, right? It's here. So since we have negative 8, so your k would be 8, but 1 plus 1, it would be negative 8, but we need to change the sign. Because if you're going to find the center, whatever the constant you have here for your y and for your x, the same thing, you have to change the sign. So here, right, we have negative 8. So change the sign of that number, positive 8. So that would be your k, positive 8. That's it. Right, that is the center. Now, let's graph it out. Now, again, if you're going to take a look closely, we have a radius of 8 units. And then the center is in 0, 8, is at 0, 8. Now, you see, there is a high chance that the graph I'm going to draw is bigger. So what's the best way? Adjust the integers, okay? So instead of putting 1, 2, 3, we can put it in another way around. What if it's multiples of 2? Like 2, 4, 6, 8. Wait, let me zoom in. Instead of multiples of 1, it's multiples of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Okay, and that's the same thing goes on the other parts. Like this would be 2, 4, 6. And the same thing to the left, but it's negative, negative 2, negative 4. Okay, so let the integers be multiples of 2, just like this one. So in that much better, so we can graph it out easily. Okay, so now let's graph this problem. Okay, first we must locate the center. Your center here is 0, 8. Okay, it's 0, 8. So since your h is 0, that means that, okay, your graph would not move left to right. So that means it's initially here. Okay, initially it's at the origin. Okay, because uh there's no value of your h except the fact that it is 0. That means you're not going to move to the right or to the left. Okay, you're just gonna stay right there. Next, your k is 8. So that means you're going to move 8 units upward. And why is it upward? Because it is positive. So, right, initially it's here, right? It's here. So we will move 8 units upward. Remember, the integers here are multiples of 2. So from 0, this is 2, 4, 6, 8. So here, okay, this is your center, okay? This one is your center. Okay, let me erase the other parts. This is the center. Okay, that's the center. Now, we can now start drawing the circle by drawing with its length of radius. Okay? Now we're going to draw 8 units away from the center. Okay? So let's start at going to the right. Start from here. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So it's here. Okay? It's here. Okay, now next. Okay, how about we go up? So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So this one. Okay, that's it. Now we go to the left. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay. Now we go downward. 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So here exactly at the origin. So now with that we can trace we can trace the outer points. So there we go. Yeah, that's it. That is how you draw the circle. All right, we're good to go. Now let's proceed to the last part. Okay. So here, the last part is we have this one. Okay, yeah, let me erase this one because I think graphing this one might be complicated. I'll tell you why later. So now let's graph this circle. You see, number one, again, it should be in standard form. Is this in standard form? No, this is not in standard form. This is in expanded form. How would you know that it is in expanded form? Expanded form, basically, there's no parenthesis squared. There's no parenthesis squared. Okay? So here, there's no parenthesis. And the fact that it has x and y, not just x squared and y squared, it implies that it's not in standard form. But here's the thing. Okay, if expanded form, it doesn't have squared, and standard form should be in squared, then why is it that in the first problem here, this is a standard form, okay, compared to this one? Because you see this one, this is in standard form because I already illustrated to you that this is just the same as x minus 0 squared plus quantity y minus 0 squared is equal to r squared, right? I already illustrated that to you. Now here, this one, you see, we have x and y, not just x squared and y squared, but negative 3x and negative y. So what does that mean? It implies that this one here, it's not in standard form. Because if it is in standard form and you have x and y, not just x squared and y squared, expect that your what do you call this one? Your circle would look like this exactly. Okay. Your x will be in parenthesis squared and your y would be parenthesis squared. It would look like this. Okay. And how do I know that? Because if you have like what do you call this one? If you have x not just x squared and y not just y squared, automatically it will look like this. Your h will be given as well as your k. All right. So there, I found out that this is not in standard form. Okay, this is not in standard form. So we have to convert it into standard form. All right. So with that, that would be our first step. Convert it into standard form. All right. If you guys don't understand what I mean or what I'm trying to say here, I suggest you should watch the previous videos I made. Okay, so there you will see what I'm trying to point out. Okay. So here, what we're going to do is that first, make sure the constant term is on the right side. which is here. So we're good to go. Next here is that on the left side, we're going to group all the x's and y's. So we have x squared minus 3x plus y squared minus y is equal to 1. Okay? The next, for your x and for your y's, you're going to do completing the square. Okay? Complete the square. Okay? Or find the PST for each of the groups here. Okay? For your x and y. So I'll go direct to the point here. Okay? So if you need some detailed explanation, just watch my previous videos on how to convert standard form to general form to standard form. Okay. So the PST for this one would be x squared minus 3x plus 9 all over 4. Okay, that's for the x. Now for your y, this would be y squared minus y plus 1/4. Okay. Then what I have here, 9/4, 1/4, that would be applied on the right side as well. So I have 1 plus 9 all over 4 plus 1/4. That's it. Then we simplify both sides. On the right side, we can add all the constants together. So let me just get my calculator. I'm too lazy. Hold on. All right, just give me a second. So this is 1 plus 9 all over 4 plus 1 all over 4. So this is 3.5, or in other words, 7 all over 2. Okay, 7 all over 2. Okay. Now on the left side, we can simplify this. This one, we can convert its squared binomial, in which this is x minus 3 halves squared. Okay. Plus this one for your y, its squared binomial would be y minus 1/2 squared. That's it. Okay, so there we can now say that this is in standard form. All right, so I'm just gonna erase this one and let's proceed with graphing already. Okay, so first and foremost, we must know the length of your radius. So remember, your r squared is the number on the right side. So r squared is equal to 7 all over 2. But again, we're looking for the length of radius, so we have to square root both sides. So here, the exact value for this one, obviously it is square root of 7 all over 2. But you see, this is actually, I do believe it's irrational. That means like there would be like, or maybe let's just say a number has infinite number of decimal values. So in this case, okay, let's round it off. This is approximately 1.87 units long. Or much better, we can just make it as 2 units long. Okay, so that we won't be having a hard time. Okay, 2 units long. Okay, it's okay if we round it off. Okay, because again, we are just estimating the graph. All right. So yeah. Now for your center, okay, your center, right? You'll have your H and K, right? What is your H? So here your H is basically the constant beside your X, which is 3 halves. So it is negative 3 half, but we change the sign. So it's positive 3 halves. Okay, next for your K. K is beside your Y. So it's negative 1 half. So the answer would be the opposite sign of negative 1/2. So it's positive. So it's 1/2. I always change the sign. Even if it's positive in the standard form, make it negative. Okay. So point being, just change the sign. Now we will graph. Now here's the problem in graphing this one. You see, it has fraction. So there is a chance that you would be very confused of your graphing. Okay. So let's just say my integers would be, would be multiples of 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And we'll do the same thing upward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. First, we must locate your center. You see, this one is just the same as 1.5 and 0.5. 3/2 is 1.5, 1/2 is 0.5. Now, how are we going to locate them? All right, let's start first with your x, or your h, 1.5. That means you're going to move 1.5 away from the origin to the right. Okay? So initially, you start from here, here, then you move 1.5 to the right. So my integers here are multiples of 1, okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, yada yada, okay? So here I will have 0, 1, okay? The next, right? Uh, what goes 1? The next is, what goes 1? Next is 2, right? So this is 1, this is 2. But you see, 1.5 is located between 1 and 2. So that means it's basically here. Okay. This is 1.5. All right. Now, for your y, it's 0.5. 0.5 is basically numbered between 0 and 1. So assume that this is 0.5. So if we're going to plot it together, your center is located here. Okay, it's here. All right. So let me erase this one. So your center is here, this one. Okay. Now we draw the radius. Now here, we draw the radius. Now we draw the length of your radius. So yeah, it's 1.87 approximately. But let's make it 2. Okay, 2 units long. Okay. Again, we're just estimating it here. Okay. It does not need to be perfect. All right. So here, let's draw 2 units away from the center. So 0, 1, 2. Right here. 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. That's it. Alright? Yeah, that's it. Then we draw its corner points. And we're good. That's it. Okay, that's the graph of your circle. Okay? Or the graph of the third problem. Okay? So yeah, that's it. Now, how I wish I would like to continue this problem. However, I think it's better to make the time short for this YouTube video. I don't want to make it longer. Because here I do believe it's 33 minutes okay, long. So I think I'm going to stop right here and we'll continue this one. Okay, and this one next day. All right. So that's all, guys. See you soon.